It's still June 17th, Wednesday. Good evening from Europe. Good morning, good afternoon, guys, wherever you are. Piotr here is Light Forex Global YouTube channel. US market is closed, but we are not gonna talk about the US market. It was slow, wasn't that interesting over the course of the day. But tomorrow we have two central banks, and the first one is Swiss National Bank, and that's what we are going to cover right here, right now. Hi guys, a beautiful day is coming to an end. Tomorrow, very important, Swiss National Bank and Bank of England. So today we are going to cover Swiss franc, and tomorrow we are going to make the preparation when it comes to the cable. All right, so Swiss National Bank rate decision. What is the Swiss franc negative right now? The only thing I can imagine is a Swiss National Bank intervention. That's the first thing, number one. And all the central banks manipulation, meaning that we have some kind of the risk on, then Swiss franc, because of the negative interest rates, is being selling off, right? So infinitive money printing and the manipulation based on the central banks creating this kind of the feeling that everything is fine and risk on. Now, what is the Swiss franc positive in that case? Well, lately we have the tensions on the North and South Korea border, right? That's number one. Number two, or maybe equal, or maybe I'm going to explain why it's number two, the tensions on the China and India border. But then there is a dialogue, and looks like they are going to try to solve that issue peacefully, right? Then of course all the cases related to COVID. We've seen the jump when it comes to the new cases, and looks like in US the Texas and Florida might be the big problem. And what is the most good environment for the Swiss franc is of course overall negative sentiments. Okay, so we are going to check few charts. So without a further delay, let's jump and check what is going on. Okay, so the Swiss National Bank, let's start with dollar Swiss franc, and that's the weekly chart, guys. And as you can see here, overall, right, we are within the quite long range, right? To the downside, we are talking about the levels close to 92. To the upside, a little bit above the parity. All right, so that's what I'm gonna to look for still tomorrow, that the market is going to try to somehow retest either 93.20, 92.50, or maybe even 91.80. Those three levels are for me some kind of the buying opportunity, at least for now, when it comes to the dollar Swiss franc. So one can ask, okay, what about the selling? Well, we do have quite nice confirmed supply somewhere close to 96, but because we are talking about the range, right, I think we might see some stop count higher, at least towards the parity, right? I think that eventually, when it comes to the dollar Swiss franc, we are going to see one of this 1-to-1 move where these stops are gonna to be hunt, and we are going to see eventually parity. Let's have a look what we have from the daily chart perspective when it comes to the dollar Swiss franc, and I still like what we discussed a second ago based on the weekly. All right, so the same levels over here, the same levels over here, right? Looks like there might be some kind of the more stop count, right, before we are going to see upside. So looking for the buying opportunity again around 93.20, 92.50, 91.80, right? With this particular pair, for now, as we have the range, once we are going to test the bottom of that range, I'm going to look for buying opportunity. Next one, the next one is Euro Swiss franc, and here is a little bit different story in my opinion, right? If you remember, we were discussing that somewhere close to 106 plus 107, and there might be buying opportunity, selling opportunity down towards the parity. Unfortunately, we've seen the break to the upside. We doubled that original range, right? And we've seen huge rejection when it comes to the daily chart. What I'm looking for right now, because the latest demand here been broken, right? We've seen at the very beginning of the week retest of the supply and rejection. So now I'm looking at least for the stops to be taken out around 105. So for now, I'm not looking for a parity, but because of the equal moves when it comes to the ranges, we've seen the break, we've seen the retest, I'm looking for a lower levels. Now, what is important to notice here, right, is this possible business finish, right, and possible swing high over here. Okay, so what I'm looking for from the daily chart perspective, okay, I'm looking for some kind of the maybe even Swiss National Bank intervention, right, around tomorrow, pushing prices higher. And I'm going to, because I'm looking for a buying opportunity on the dollar Swiss franc, and here I'm looking for a selling opportunity. And if we are going to see some kind of the spike to the upside towards 107.50, right, that might be my selling level, my selling opportunity when it comes to the Euro Swiss franc. If you are Euro fan, Euro Swiss franc long fan, then you might try to look for your buying opportunity as early as tomorrow. As I mentioned, we have this unfinished business around 106.50, right? But I would be very careful, because what I see right now, it might be this type of the price action 1-to-1 with the stop count around 105. That's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm looking for currently when it comes to the Euro Swiss franc. The next one is Swiss franc versus Japanese yen, and here I also like rejection when it comes to the Swiss franc. I like stronger Japanese yen, but I would like to see the spike. The same thing we discussed a second ago when it comes to the dollar Swiss franc. I want to see on a dollar Swiss franc spike to the downside to my level. Same here. I want to see spike to the upside before jumping into the short position. I would like to see something around 113.80, 114. If that's gonna be the case, right? If that's gonna be the case, then my first target is gonna be this broken supply. So we are talking about the levels close to 112.50, 112.50, right? So I'm looking for something like 130, 150 when it comes to the possible Swiss franc yen shorts. What could be the entry levels? As I mentioned, 113.80, 114, and it could be unfinished business around 114.30. My stop is going to be above the high, above 114.50. Again, first target gonna be close to 112.50. If we are going to break that one, I think we might retest psychological level close to 110.50, 110. That's how I see Swiss franc versus Japanese yen. And the last one is Australian dollar versus Swiss franc. Let me find it here. And here I'm looking to buy Swiss franc. We've seen previous week rejection, right? We are trying to fight at the very beginning of this week, but as you can see, we've been higher, all right? But we are working with this old supply. We are working with this old weakness. It's a very, very similar situation we have on the dollar, Australian dollar versus American dollar, right? But here we already moved below. It's very, very significant in my opinion, and it could spur some trouble when it comes to the Australian dollar bulls. Okay. Let me create the zone over here, right? So that's how it looks from the weekly chart perspective. Let's switch a little bit lower. Let's switch to the daily chart. Okay, what we have here? We have here and been tested yesterday, broken demand over here, right? As you can see, and we have rejection lower shadow. What I'm gonna to look for tomorrow when it comes to the dollar Swiss franc, Australian dollar versus Swiss franc, I'm going to make the measure between today's high and yesterday high. And that's going to be something around 30 pips. So meaning that after today's close, we are going to have a chance to rise around 30 pips, and that's gonna be my selling opportunity. My first target is going to be based on 1-to-1, right? Meaning that we are going to test something closer to 63.50. And if from the daily chart perspective, we are going to break another latest weakness, right? We might open the way back down to 60 and then trying to work with this swing low around 56.55 when it comes to Aussie Swiss franc. The daily and weekly close above this high is gonna to cancel this bearish view. So we discussed possibilities to buy Swiss franc around Swiss National Bank, or right after. We discussed possibilities to sell, to buy. Do your own research, guys. Do your own homework, and let's have a look what we are going to get tomorrow. It was my pleasure to make the update for you. Have a great rest of the day and see you around. Take care and goodbye.